We need to find more light.
Greetings, sir, this may concern. Christian Aguilar here, back with another movie review. And in today's movie review, I am going to be reviewing the movie Lights Out. Now, I know I haven't posted this past weekend for the, I believe, 10th, 11th. Today is October 12th. So, I am going to be trying my hardest to crank out 3 of these bad boys in one day to try to catch up for tomorrow, the 13th. So, today is October 12th. This is day 10's movie review. Let's get into it. So this film is directed by David F. Sandberg, who also made the short film In Order to Become a Feature, also entitled Lights Out. If you have not seen the short video, it's on YouTube. All you gotta do is type up Lights Out short film, but a lot of people have seen that short film, so I'd be surprised if no one hasn't. But if you haven't, it's free. It's free to watch on YouTube. It's a good free scare, and I know sure as hell it got me when the first time I watched it, because my expectations were really low every time I watch horror shorts on YouTube. But this one creeped the hell out of me, and then over time, I remember I watched it again in class, because I think my high school broadcasting teacher showed us this again during the Halloween season to get an idea of how to do a horror short. And then, to my surprise, in 2016, it became a feature full-length film from producer James Wan, who directed the movie Saw, which was reviewed on my channel a little earlier, top right-hand corner if you want to check that one out. James Wan has become a producer over time after his success with both Insidious, Conjuring, Saw, and so now he has this reputation of being a producer, and he gets to produce a lot of films that I feel like he would have directed at a time, so I feel like Lights Out would have been directed by James Wan at a certain point in his career if the opportunity was brought to him. But no, he was the one to get this one together, and his production company, Atomic Monsters logo, I think this was the first movie I saw that logo in, is the Atomic Monster. I think that's a really cool logo to have the little space dude come down and shoot the monster tentacles. But anyway, it's really cool to see a short film become a feature-length film. It's always cool to see that, and knowing that James Wan and Lee Winnell had the same experience with Saw, I could see James Wan going to David F. Sandberg and be like, dude, I want to produce this movie, I want to make it a feature length, and you can direct it, because I love what you did with that short film. So he gave him this opportunity to do a horror film, which is pretty well done. I honestly enjoyed Lights Out. I saw it in theaters with my parents back in 2016 when it came out, and honestly, I had little expectations for this movie. I knew about the short. I know very well who James Wan is, but just because James Wan's name is on it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good. So I went in there with a lot of caution. I'm like, okay, this is going to be cheap jump scares after cheap jump scares, most likely. But to my surprise, this film was really well done. This film is like, it doesn't overuse the jump scares at points. It uses them, so be wary. There's going to be a couple of jump scares in here, but there's not like a lot of cheap cop-outs, like a truck passing by really quickly and that's supposed to scare you, or something drops and it's not supposed to be the monster, but it's like dropped accidentally by the character and that's supposed to like put a fear into you. I do not like those jump scares, so I'm glad to say that Lights Out has, if they do have one, it's probably only one, but from my memory, they do not have all those cheap jump scares. They save those jump scares for the monster, for Diana. So I really respect that out of this horror movie. It knows how to use jump scares. David F. Sandberg is a horror lover. You can tell by the movie, by his short, and he knows how to deliver scares very well. Very well. So this film stars Teresa Palmer, Gabriel Bateman, and Maria Bello as the mother, son, and older daughter of the little family that is left. After the death of their stepdad, which I actually believe that is the younger brother's actual dad, they realize that they are being haunted by this creepy-ass woman ghost named Diana. And little to their knowledge, it's actually the mother who is the vessel for this entity. So all this entity wants is to be close to the mom. For what reason, I'll leave that to the film if you haven't seen it. But it's literally these kids are fighting the mom's demons. That's what it really comes down to. I'm not going to give too much away if you haven't seen it, but I love the fact that this movie deals with mental illness. It deals with depression. It deals with trying to get over hard times. And literally, you could kind of take this movie, the entity in this movie, as a metaphor for mental illness and how it affects the entire family. And with that being said, I think this is a really well done horror film because, yes, obviously she is a ghost that's tormenting this family. However, you can sit back and think that maybe it's just the mental illness, this depression that's very toxic on this family, hence why they're going through all these horrors. But regardless, I think this is a very fun horror film. I remember I watched this in theaters and people were like into it, man. Like they were cheering at certain points, they were screaming, they were like yelling at the screens and like not going. I've never seen a more engaged crowd before. And this, 2016, pre-pandemic, I mean, this was a chocked full theater. Like every single seat was packed. I think it might have been opening weekend, so everyone wanted to go see a horror film. It was packed, and I just remember people like being really into it. Like they were cheering, yelling. It was just so cool. It was a cool theater experience, and that kind of added to my enjoyment to the film. I think it's a really cool and interesting concept, or an original concept, to have a demon or a ghost type entity haunt people solely in the dark. Like literally light is their weakness, and this is just like formula for child nightmares. Like if I saw this as a kid, this would probably been one of the scariest films I've ever seen. But I didn't see it as a kid. I saw it when I was like 16 or 17. So with that being said, I can see how this was terrify the living out of a little kid, because every kid, it doesn't matter what horror movie you watch, they want to keep the lights on. If you're even creeped out subtly by anything, ghosts, demons, whatever, you're going to want to keep those lights on. But literally this movie shows you that you literally have to keep the lights on, because that's the only way you're ever going to be protected by this entity. So I really like how they took that original idea and they really made it their own. David F. Sandberg, he took this idea, made it his own. Even in the short film, the effects were really good on turning on and off the lights, and you see the silhouette of the woman. Really well done effects, and it translates perfectly over to the film. And there's just tons of creepy moments, tons of scary moments to get your bones chilling, and I think this is a perfect film for the spooky season. Not too cheesy, it's fun, it's funny in parts, it's scary in other parts, and I think it's just a perfect horror film. So, with that being said, without giving too much away, Lights Out, my rating system, let's bring that up right now. My rating system, I am going to give Lights Out a solid... Okay, so IMDb gives it like a 6 out of 10. But I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. A good old 7 out of 10. Because I think this was a really good horror film. It was really well done. This easily could have gone down a route, but it didn't. And I admire it so much for that. It has so many cool little Easter eggs, too. If you keep your eye out, you'll see a lot of pop culture figures and stuff like that out, in the production design. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, 7 out of 10. This could have been bad, but it was not. It's very enjoyable and very fun to watch. Especially during the spooky season. So, that is it for today. If you made it to the end of this video, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see if I can crank out 2 more of these today for day 11 and 12. So yes, thank you again for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.